Hi, it's Kirby Summers, and I'm getting ready to do another podcast on information that no one has dug up that I know you're going to love and enjoy. Before I get started, I want to thank everyone who has joined my Patreon for being so amazingly supportive. You guys just floor me all the time. I can't tell you how much it means to me. It means so much to me. I can feel your love and I can feel you rooting for me, and I know you enjoy the information that I dig up. So I guess we're really in this together. There are two reveals that I have today, and I discovered these while I've been doing my research for my new book, Ghislaine Maxwell, an Unauthorized Biography, which is on pre-sale on my website, kirbysummers.com. I believe it's on pre-sale at a steep discount, $15. You can order it now and get a sample chapter. Well, not a sample chapter, a preview chapter, because, it's a real chapter. But while I've been doing my research, I've come up with information that no one has really discovered. And so I've got two of these reveals for you today. And I'm going to start with the fact that I believe Ghislaine Maxwell was working for her father as a spy. And then I want to know in the comment section what you feel about my interpretation. So when she was 29, that would have been a year before her father died. So that would have been, I believe, in 1990. She went to a dinner honoring Nazi hunter Simon Wiesenthal. And her father, at the time, went to Moscow to visit President Gorbachev. And so after she goes to this event, she writes a report for her father. Now it's interesting. When I read that, I'm like, wait a minute, she had to write a report. This sounds like very complex. It's not like, oh yeah, Dad, this is what happened and this is who was there, and basically telling your father, about just a social event that you went to. No, she typed a report. And apparently, for Robert Maxwell, the report was done poorly or it was missing information. And so he chastised her. He basically just came down really hard on her. And so much so that she wrote a written apology. And she writes, I'm very sorry that my description of the dinner this morning was inadequate and made you angry. I should have expressed at the start of our conversation that I was merely presenting you with a preliminary report of the evening and that a full written report was to follow. And then she went on to give him a detailed description of everyone who attended. To me, that sounds like she was doing a lot more than just going to a social gathering on behalf of her father. To me, that seems like she went to a social gathering and used her skills as a people person to gather information and then to go back to her father and to tell him snippets, because men love to brag when they're talking to a pretty girl. And at the time, Ghislaine was 29 and she could still be considered a pretty girl. She didn't age well, but at the time when she was 29, she was bubbly. She had a great personality and she was very personable and people enjoyed talking to her. And I can imagine that she got a lot of information from the men that she met during, these parties. So she goes on to tell her father that she was going to report back to him on the wedding that he had instructed her to go to. Now, the wedding that she was supposed to attend on behalf of her father's instructions again. So again, in my opinion, she went to spy. Was of Matthew Maxwell Kennedy, who is the son of Robert Kennedy, um, Jack Kennedy's brother. And when he married Victoria Ann Strauss on July 13, 1991. So when you go to a Kennedy wedding, you're going to have tons of politicians. You're going to have the elite of the elite, all the power brokers, so many people who are the who's who of, who makes the law here, who does this. I mean, just the top. And so she went to that wedding at the request of her father, and she, as she did in the case of the Simon Wiesenthal event, she wrote her father a report on every person who was at the wedding and probably all of the secrets that she obtained. So it's my opinion again that Ghislaine was working as a spy for her father. Now, this is going to transition into the second thing that I discovered. I discovered a hidden spy among the employees of Robert Maxwell. And I put something on Twitter the other day asking people to take a guess to see if you can come up with who else was a spy, who was working with Robert Maxwell. And so that's going to be revealed here, but for the first time. And again, it's my opinion. This is only going to be found in my new book, Ghislaine Maxwell, An Unauthorized Biography, again, on my website. And so when Robert Maxwell fell into the water, whether he was pushed, fell, or somebody stuck a needle into his neck and, made sure he was gone and ended up floating in the Atlantic Ocean, again on November 5th, 1991, newspapers all around the world wrote articles about his untimely death. He really was a larger-than-life character, and as I have done my research, I have discovered why there's such fascination about his life. And so one of the articles that I pulled said that Ghislaine at the time was making 100,000 pounds a year, even though no one could remember seeing her in the office more than once, and perhaps it was just only in the summer of 1990. So one thing that I have also discovered about Robert Maxwell is that he was a very tight man with his money. He would not have, even for Ghislaine, his favorite, given her $100,000. Sorry, it's 100,000 pounds, which would have been the equivalent of $132,000 U.S. money, for doing nothing. I believe she was getting paid to go to these social events and to get information for him. But in the same article, I discovered that there was another person who was very well paid, and he was getting paid 250,000 pounds per year. Now that's an equivalent of $330,000 US, and this is 1990. So at the time, this was an astronomical amount. The guy was young at the time, and his name is Lionel Estouleru, who goes on later in life. He becomes a French minister. He's a music conductor on the side. And when he was in Maxwell's employment, although you won't find that on his Wikipedia page, when he was in Maxwell's employment, he would go to the Eastern European countries, as the music conductor. And frankly, that's a really good cover if you're going to be a spy. You go in as a musician, you go in as an artist, and, even if you were just a journalist, that's the best cover for a spy. So I believe there are other spies hidden in Robert Maxwell's world. And I would encourage you, if you're interested in sleuthing, in digging up information that nobody else has, to delve into Robert Maxwell's world. Find out who worked for him, find out maybe what they got paid, because what they got paid will be an indicator of how important that person was to Maxwell. Okay, well, listen, once again, I'm going to thank you for the incredible support and for the words of encouragement with my new podcast venture. And I'd love to hear how you feel about my two, I guess, these unearthed things that I believe are facts and that no one else has discovered. And I don't really know why, but they haven't. And so don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And I will do this again soon. Okay, bye.